everyone, welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. Today we'll be doing the player ratings for Tottenham versus Liverpool, the top of the table clash. Last minute winner from Bobby Firmino to take Liverpool to the top of the table. I have with me my co-host Mr. Zohar Khan. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. A little bit disappointed. You know me. I bet the house on Tottenham winning today, and they would have, bro. They should have, bro. They should have. But what can I say, man? I was trash talking Bobby throughout the game. You know this,
Yeah,
and man, he shoved me up real quick with the header in the 90th. Man, I was just
yeah,
like, bro, this is garbage. And it's funny because the commentators were saying that, like, especially after Kane missed that header, the one that he put into the ground that it went over, that if they end up going on to lose this game, they're gonna regret it. They're
yeah,
gonna regret these
100%.
chances that they missed the Bergwijn okay, a shot that came off the post as well. Like, just a
Yeah.
few things that didn't go their way. But crazy game, bro. Crazy game.
Yeah, you almost wanted Son on the end of that instead of Bergwijn, but that's the thing. I think it was a typical performance from both teams. Liverpool dominated possession; they had chances. They started off so brightly; they're putting so much pressure on Tottenham, and then Spurs eased their way back into the game. I think that equalizer after that it started easing out for Spurs. They started getting into the game, and then that's it, man. That's how they play. They hit you on the counter, but if they're going to miss those chances, then there's always a chance to get punished, and it was left late, but that it was a dagger in the end, and Liverpool got the 3 points. So Spurs will be regretting that, but I don't think that's the typical performance. So I don't think they'll be too upset with the actual performance because it was playing out into their hands if it wasn't for that Firmino goal.
For sure. But I mean, that's it. Like you touched on it earlier, that when you're gonna sit back and you're gonna concede so much possession and you're gonna hit on the counter, like that's what they were set up to do today, right? They were
Yeah,
playing deep. So you know what you know how they're gonna play, and Liverpool was wise to that as well. And so credit to Liverpool for limiting the amount of times that Tottenham could break. But
yeah,
every time they did break, they were dangerous. But that's it. Like when you're playing that sort of game, when it's so finely balanced, you have to put those chances away. And it
agreed.
came back to haunt Tottenham. Like I thought on the balance of it, Liverpool created a lot more,
100%.
but that was exactly like, you can look at pass accuracy, you can look at total number of passes made, you look at possession was, I think, like 75-25 in Liverpool's
Yeah,
favor. So but all these things don't really, like when you just look at them in isolation, it's like, oh, okay, that's it, that's a big disparity or whatever. But then you realize that no, but this is Mourinho setting his team up to play like this, to concede possession. It's been done, like he's done it before, and he has succeeded in playing in this manner before. But again, right, it's like you just got to make those you got to make those chances when you get them, and you got to make the other team pay, because otherwise it's so finely balanced that it just takes something like a Bobby Firmino header to win the game.
yeah, 100%. And it lived up to expectations. We expected these teams to play out like this, and it was a really entertaining game in the end. But yeah, let's start off with the Tottenham player ratings. Ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go, bro. So, Hugo Lloris in goal, two big saves, I think, from Firmino himself. I think there's two good saves, and then he couldn't really do much. The first goal was a deflection, second goal, crazy header. I don't know if he could do too much, but yeah, what are your thoughts on his performance?
Man, I thought Lloris was great today.
Yeah,
He was, constantly being tested. Liverpool were camped out in Tottenham's half, right outside their box. There was a lot of opportunities being created. Mane was twisting and turning. Salah got in there. Firmino got in there. Reece Jones was getting, not Reece Jones. What's his name, bro? What's that kid's name? Curtis Jones.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Curtis
Curtis
Jones.
Jones. Yeah, Curtis
Yeah,
Jones.
like
Yeah,
like everybody, like you knew what was going to happen, and Lloris was, stepped up and met that challenge head on. 9 saves, couple of them big ones. Like it was really a big game performance from him. And I think both those goals you couldn't do anything about. Bro,
yeah,
the first one, like you said, was a deflection. The second one, Alderweireld kind of like slipped, which let Bobby get in there almost unmarked, and it was a point blank header. He played the ball long a lot. You could see that, 20 times, 20 attempted long balls. You could see the the tactics were very clear that, you're going to play out from the back in the way that you're going to play it long to Kane, who's going to look for Son or Bergwijn, the Spurs runners. Wasn't always effective, but it was a very clear setup that, hey, we're just going to bypass Liverpool's midfield and we're just going to try and catch them napping, hit them on the break. Even though he conceded 2 goals, bro, I'll give him a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Yeah, fair enough. I think you got a spot on. Aurier, he had a lot to deal with in terms of money and Robertson, but yeah, your thoughts on his performance?
Bro, for me, Aurier was probably the best out of the Spurs back line today. I thought he
Hmm.
had some nervy moments. He got spun a few times by Mane. He got turned inside out by Robertson, but he, for the most part, stepped up to the challenge pretty big, man. He was the most accurate passer out of their defense, to help build some Tottenham momentum. You got to be able to bring the ball out every now and then, right?
Hmm.
Constantly had to deal with Mane and Robertson, and for the most part, came out the better of it. 6 out of 10 tackles, bro. Won the majority of his duels as well. Um, he's the sort of guy that he's been having a really good season, but you could tell that there were moments where he was looking like he was going to slip back to the Aurier of old.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw, but like Jose ran across his technical area just to be like, "Yo, get your head back in the game because
Yeah.
this isn't going to work." But again, like I said, best of the back for me. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 for Aurier. Alderweireld, the deflection went off him. Can't really blame him for that. But I think apart from that, he looked good. He won some aerial battles as well. He looked pretty decent until the end. He couldn't do much with the corner, but yeah.
Honestly, yeah, man. I think defensively he was big, man. He got rid of pretty much anything that came his way. Put in a bunch of tackles, won his duels, cleared the ball a whole lot. Really helped that sort of, when you're going to play where you're going to concede opportunities and possessions to the opposition. You need your defense to step up, and I think he did. He wasn't as successful in playing the ball out from the back, bypassing the Liverpool midfield. But it is what it is. When you're going to set up like that and you're going to play a lot of long balls, your passing accuracy obviously is going to drop, and it's going to be harder to build that momentum, right? That's what teams like to build the play progressively from the back.
Mhm.
I'd like to give him a higher score, but I do think he got caught on Bobby's goal. The first one, I don't say anything for because it's a deflection. It was just a small
Yeah, you
touch,
can't really do much.
but I feel like he could have been stronger against Bobby for the game winner. I give him a 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10 for Alderweireld. And for Dyer, again, he was also solid and forming a good partnership with Alderweireld.
Yeah, man. Honestly, Dyer's been good. Solid defensively. Dealt with a lot of pressure, constant. Liverpool being outside the box, inside the box. So a lot of work for them to do. They have to be switched on constantly. It's a theme across the Tottenham team that there was low pass accuracy. There wasn't a lot of passes attempted, but again, this is the way that they were set up to play. They didn't have very much of the ball, so these numbers aren't going to be very high. Again, it's hard to give him a high score because at the end of the day, you did lose 2-1. But I'll give him a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 for Eric Dyer. Ben Davis, I think he struggled to cope with Salah, especially in the first half.
Yeah, man. I thought Ben Davies was probably the weakest of the bunch. Usually he's okay. He can be decent, but today he was poor. He gave the ball away way too much, way too much. I think he ended up with like a pass accuracy somewhere in the 30% range. And pretty much anytime that he was, asked to do a defensive job, it was 50-50 if he was going to come out on top. And you need more from your fullback when you're trying to shut down the combination of Trent and Salah. Obviously, it's a big ask, but these are the games that you need to step up in. I'm going to be generous over here and give him a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. All right. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Even though, if you look at Aurier, he also had a lot to deal with, but you could see in glimpses that he was still doing a job, which Davis probably
For
lacked.
sure.
Yeah. And then your boy Højbjerg, first half he looked a bit lost. Second half he got into it, then picked up the yellow card. But it looked like Winnie Aldum had the better of him, kind of, in this game.
I think Højbjerg played his the typical game for him. He was typically disruptive, add steel to their midfield, put in a bunch of tackles, a
The
couple
way
of
he pulled that shirt was crazy, man.
bro. Yeah. It's like he just ate the yellow and he gave a thumbs up. Tactical foul, right?
Yeah.
But again, it was a very difficult task for all of Tottenham's midfielders and even their forwards when just again it's going to come back to the idea that Liverpool had so much of the ball that it's difficult for these guys to show what they can do. When they're off the ball. I thought he was good, but not great. And then, the yellow, it is what it is. You got to dock a little bit for that. I gave him a 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. And Lisalso, he got the assist for the goal, but apart from that, probably overrun a bit, and he picked up a yellow as well.
So for me, man, Lo Celso was interesting. Lo Celso looked great in the first half. I thought he was probably the better option in Spurs midfield, and his assist to Son was a thing of beauty, man. He timed it perfectly so that Son was just onside with Reece Williams. Just Reece Williams' foot, they brought up the lines on VAR. Defensively did his job as well, but when they switched him and Sissoko in the second half, they switched positions. He kind of looked a lot more lost, and he got subbed pretty quickly. I think he was the first sub, went off just about near the 60th, I think. So it was just almost like a game of two halves for him. I'm still gonna give him points for the assist and basically judge him on his first half performance. I'll give him a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. And for Bergwijn,
Bro, this guy was so frustrating. Like he's worked so hard, constantly running, constantly getting into good positions, and he was just honestly he was just unlucky not to score. Man, he had two opportunities. One came off the the back post, and the other one he put just wide. Both were the same sort of thing. Took it down and then tried to curve around with his right foot, and just on another day that would have been two goals, and just today it wasn't meant to be. But again,
and he scored a similar goal against City, I think, right? Last year, it
exactly.
was a similar position.
Exactly. So it's just like, when you're in that position, like you really expect your guy to score, like especially the post. It's like, come on, man. Like you need to put that in the back. If that goes in, that's 2-1 Tottenham, right? The whole dynamic of the game
Yeah, the
changes.
whole game changes completely.
So, even though I liked his work rate, I liked that, where he found himself, I feel like he really should have been able to do better than he did. So I got to be a little bit harsh on him and give him a 6 out of 10, bro.
6 out of 10. And did we do Sissoko?
We didn't do Sissoko.
Yeah, sorry, I skipped that. But yeah, just to catch you on Bergwijn, I think you're completely right. Like he got into this positions, credit to him, but you need to finish, especially that second man. You got two chances. Second time, it's unlucky. He hit the post. You can't like. It's not like he was fairly accurate in that, but you just need to put this away, especially after getting that first chance. So I
That's
completely
it,
agree with you. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And so you give him a 6.5. You said.
I give him a 6.
You give him a 6. I think that's fair enough. You docked a point for those two chances.
Pretty
And Musa
much.
Sissoko.
Bro, Sissoko again, like he brought the ball forward pretty decently. I thought that Sissoko actually had, all things considered, a decent game. A game where, the Tottenham midfield was pretty much not involved in the game if you think about it. I thought that he was all right, but again, it made me think when I was watching him play, when I was watching Tottenham play, were they missing someone like Ndombele? Would that have made it? Would have even picked him for this sort of game? Like he would have gone into this game with that siege mentality. But I thought Sissoko was okay, nothing crazy. But I thought he did bring the ball forward decently enough out of the Spurs midfield. I give him a 6.5, man.
A 6.5 out of 10 for Sissoko. And Son, man, another unbelievable finish. Like he's taking his chances. He has the pace on the counter. But yeah, your thoughts on his performance?
Bro, I thought Son was sublime today, bro. The way he finished that chance off near post past Allison, that's not an easy task.
Yeah.
The timing of the run, sure, if you're a Liverpool fan, you're probably going to say that was offside. But the timing of the run was impeccable. The way he took the ball into stride and just the composure and the ice cold, blood running through his veins to put that in and without hesitation. I thought he was great. And he also brought his teammates into the game. He makes a lot of smart runs off the ball. His movement is great. He's just a constant menace. He's a constant threat. And, alongside obviously Harry Kane this season, he's been the standout player for Tottenham. I give him a 7.5, man.
7.5 out of 10 for Son. And Harry Kane played a bit deep today, but yeah, your thoughts on his performance. Couldn't get the goal as well.
Yeah, I thought Kane was a little bit subpar today. Obviously, Liverpool knew how Tottenham play. They run most of their play through Kane, so there was a lot of pressure on him. There was a lot of impetus on Liverpool's side to make sure that he got the ball as little as possible. He actually had the least amount of touches in the game for Tottenham, and honestly, he's got to be putting those chances away. I felt there was an off day in terms of finishing for most of Tottenham, and Harry Kane, unfortunately, just had two pretty good opportunities. He had the one that he was kind of looked offside for, that he wrapped around the far post, but really that header that he had, I feel like
he should bury those, man. Yeah,
he should be burying those. Like what Bobby did at the end is what Kane needed to do, and Kane is far superior. But you gotta judge him on his performance today. I gotta be harsh and give him a 6.5.
6.5 out of 10 for Kane. I think that wraps up the ratings. Do you want to do the subs, or are you okay with that? Because
I got Moura and Regulon written down if you want to do them real quick.
Yeah, you can go for Moura first.
So, bro, honestly, like he came in, he had a job to do. He did it pretty well, I thought. All things considered, there was a lot asked of him defensively, and credit to Mourinho for being able to bring up that side of this game. But again, not much, result for it. Got to give him a 6.5. Yeah. And for Regulion, bro, he brings a lot of energy, man. He brings a lot of energy. Like I personally prefer him. He's a left back, right?
Left back, yeah.
Yeah, like I personally prefer him to Davies, but I guess Mourinho wanted to play a little bit more compact.
I think that's what it was, but I was surprised because Regulon's been doing a really good job in the last few weeks.
Really good job.
Yeah.
So he didn't have much time, but I'll give him a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10. Yeah, I think that wraps up the ratings. And just want to finish with Mourinho's rating. Like he almost pulled it off. It could have been a 10, but yeah, unfortunately, it won't be.
So Mourinho, you know me, I love Jose. I'm gonna give him a 7. I thought he had a clear plan that nearly came off. It was very obvious what he was trying to do, and Liverpool knew it as well, but they were powerless to stop it. If Kane puts away that header, if Bergwijn puts away his chances, it's a whole different story. But here we are sitting with a 2-1 Liverpool win. So I don't think you can blame Mourinho. Plus, I thought the subs that he made were very positive subs. He brought on the right sort of players to maximize Tottenham's ability to win the game. It just didn't come off.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And he's shown like today, I think this team is tough to beat because this Liverpool attack, don't get me wrong, it's lethal, like it's unbelievable. So to give them a tough fight, yes, there was no Van Dijk, so I think they should have taken advantage of that Tottenham. But still, I think they showed that they're not that easy to beat. But yeah, of course, they'll probably expect better if they want to go for the title.
That's it.
But yeah, I think that wraps up Spurs ratings. Yeah, you can ask me Liverpool's ratings, man. First time I think I'm gonna rate this. The first time I'm gonna rate this team, so I hope I'm not
it's not too biased.
Yeah.
Let's get it started.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Alisson. Honestly, you didn't have much to do throughout the game, but should he be being beat like that at the near post, like he was for Son's goal? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he was beaten a bit easily. Like I expect Alisson to save that. I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world right now, and I feel that like a keeper of his caliber should be saving that. And also he got lucky with that when he came off the line and he tried to clear and went straight to Kane. Kane tried to chip him from all the way there. If that went in, bro, that's Alisson's fault. So I think some careless mistakes there, but apart from that, didn't have so much to do. Yeah, I think I would go with a 6 out of 10 for Alisson. I'm being a bit harsh on him, not because I'm a United fan. It's just that I feel that he some potential mistake. One led to a goal, and the other one could have led to another goal. So yeah,
for sure. Like uncharacteristic mistakes from both him and Ederson. If you think about it, both Brazilian keepers that have been very good last season.
Yeah.
Moving on to our man Trent Alexander-Arnold, bro. This guy was a constant menace. Was living in the Spurs box. Defensively, he did his job too. But how did you have him pegged for today's performance? Would you agree with me?
Yeah, I think he's not fully fit though. I think he's still getting into that full Trent of last season. He's still not at that level. But I think defensively he did his job today. Attacking wise, I felt like his crosses weren't as dangerous as we expect of him. So maybe he can just improve on that. But apart from that, it was a good performance. Nothing too critical. I'd go 7 out of 10 for Trent.
7 out of 10 for Trent. Moving on to Reece Williams. Honestly, bro, composed performance from a young center back.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, completely composed. And the boots he's filling Van Dijk, that's not easy, bro. Like Van Dijk is easily the best defender in the world, probably, arguably. I think he's doing a really good job. Yes, he did make a mistake though. He was caught napping for that Bergwijn chance, and if that went in, it would have think. But I honestly, as a neutral, I expect that. He's still not he's still young and he's still learning on the job. So he's not as experienced as Van Dijk. So I still yes, we would probably be more critical of him if they conceded that goal, but I still think he did a really good job. I'd probably go 7 out of 10 for him as well.
7 out of 10 for
Sorry,
him.
you were saying something?
No. I wasn't saying anything.
Okay.
Maybe I was. I don't know. I zoned out.
No worries.
So Fabinho, bro, I love this guy. I really wanted him at United. He's so impressive, bro, whether he plays in midfield or defense. And he's just so versatile, bro. Whether he's being asked to do a job defensively or whether he's being asked to bring the ball forward, the man's got techers. I love this guy. What did you give him for today?
That's it, man. You got it spot on. You got the description spot on. Whether he's in midfield or defense, he does his job. According to where he's playing, he follows the orders and he's clinical, man. And I give him 8 out of 10. I think he was very elegant and he was really good today, man. Can't really blame him for anything. So yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, really helping them get through this, center back crisis that Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%. He's stepping up, man. Yeah, he's stepping up. Something like what's his name, bro? With Alonso, who used to play, bro? The Argentinian guy, Liverpool.
Mascherano?
Yeah, he's doing that Mascherano job. Kind of a midfielder going to defense. He's doing that job and he's doing it really well.
100%, man. So if you gave Fabinho an 8, I'm curious what you gave Robertson, given that he bagged the assist on Bobby's goal.
9 out of 10, bro. Extra point for that assist. I think he was unbelievable today. A constant threat. I think he gave Oreo a lot to deal with. He interchanged well with Mane and some good passing there, some really dangerous crosses. And in the end, he got the assist. So I'll give him an extra point for that. So 9 out of 10.
Fair enough, dude. I mean, I had him. I would give him an 8.5, 9. But yeah, again, like for me, it's like Liverpool. Like if you look at it if you just look at the numbers, like it's just like the numbers are so different, and you're like, oh, Liverpool must have really outplayed this Tottenham team, but really that wasn't the case. But Robertson definitely, was one of the bright spots in this Liverpool team. I got to agree with you over there. So I think a 9 is fair, man.
Yeah.
Okay, another youth player, man, taking his chance, Curtis Jones.
Yeah, he's
Pretty
improving
cool.
every game, man. Like some really good chances again today, and he's improving every game. He's getting to those dangerous positions. He's picking up those passes, and his runs are also they're pretty lethal. Like I've been surprised by him pleasantly, and I think he's doing a really good job. I think today he had a few chances. He didn't score, but I'd give him probably a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5. I think that's really fair, man. A 7.5 because could he have done more? He could have, but I feel as a young player, and especially stepping up to a top of the table class, he really held his place well against obviously a more experienced Tottenham team.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought of it this way. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I'd probably give him an 8 because you don't expect like a youngster to play that good. But if you're a neutral, probably give 7. So I just went bang on 7.5.
bang
Yeah.
bang in the middle.
Yeah, bang in the
Now,
middle. Yeah.
moving on to who I think is one of the most, if not most important player for Liverpool at this point in time, Jordan Hendo Henderson. Bro,
And
this guy is my friend. He's changed the way he plays from being your typical English midfielder to something else, bro. He's creating from deep. He finds his players. I thought he was dope today, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
yeah, I think Klopp has changed him, man. Like, the way he's managed him, I think it's been unbelievable. And you're right, he comes in those last ditch important tackles, even like when he has the ball, composed passes, his distribution is really good. And he's there in and around, he's that nagging guy on the field, like, and he's a leader for Liverpool. Like, if you talk to Liverpool fans, they rate him really highly. They're like, when he doesn't play, we have a problem. And like, you wouldn't associate with that. He's not like that Steven Gerrard level, but he's still really important to them, like, and I feel today again, he did a really good job, and he defended really well on the counter as well. So I
What
think
would you give him?
I would probably give him 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
Oof. I'd personally give him an 8, but you know what? Fair enough. 7. It's your rating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Maybe you probably have that thing with him. I'm not the biggest Henderson fan, but I still see what he does, like, so based on that, like, he didn't really create though, right? So that's
He
why.
didn't really. I mean, he did play that wonderful through ball
Yeah,
to Salah.
yeah, he had that through ball, but apart from that, like, he did his job. That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't do
That's what
something
he.
I didn't expect out of him. Like, nothing spectacular and nothing bad. So I think it's a good job.
Fair. Moving on to Genie. This guy, bro, I thought he was going to leave in the summer, but he's managed to keep his place and keep his place well in this Liverpool midfield. How did you feel he played today?
Man, I actually thought he played really well. I'm giving him an extra point for because I just felt that those tight spaces he got out of them really well, and I think he did a good job on Højbjerg as well. I'm giving him an 8 actually. Maybe like we swapped. Maybe you wanted to give him a 7 and Henderson an 8, but I'm going Vinny Aldum 8. I think he did a really good job in that midfield, and I watched him a bit closely today, and I felt that man, this guy is actually really underrated. He's a pretty good player.
Genie is definitely underrated, bro. The thing is, like with Genie, like he doesn't really do anything spectacular, but he keeps it neat and tidy every single time, constantly. He had the highest pass accuracy in the game today, bro. 97% passing
That's
accuracy.
it, man. That's it. You're backing me up with the stats.
100%, bro.
That's
got
it.
the ball out of tough situations. He's just composed on the ball.
Yeah.
He can score. Don't get me wrong. He plays further forward for Netherlands, but
exactly,
he does the job so well that he needs to do for this Liverpool team. I think an 8 is absolutely fair, man. I like this guy.
Exactly, and that was a really good point. I actually read about it as well. His position for Netherlands is further up, and he's playing deeper. So he's a versatile player, and he showed today that he can do the job for sure. So I'm going 8 out of 10 for him.
8 out of 10. I'm with you on that one. Moving on to the Egyptian king, Mo Salah.
Mo Salah, I'm giving him an extra point for that goal. I think, very important. Like, it was a deflection. He probably didn't mean it to go in, but I think he was a constant threat in the first 20, 30 minutes down that right side. I think he was unbelievable. Faded out a bit towards the end of the game, but then he had some chances as well. So the thing with Salah, he always gets into positions. Like, the guy will bag a goal every game, or he'll miss a chance, but he will be there.
Even when he's not necessarily playing the best, he's
exactly. And today wasn't his best game.
Absolutely. Today
Yeah,
wasn't his
he
best
just gets
game.
into like suddenly, yes, in the beginning he was putting pressure, and then he slowly faded out, and suddenly in the 80th minute I saw him with the ball. I'm like, yo, where did this guy come from? So with Salah, he's very dangerous, bro. Like, yes, some people say, yeah, sometimes he needs to convert his chances, but I think he scores almost every game. So like,
I mean,
uh,
if you look at his numbers, bro, his numbers are pretty phenomenal. So
yeah,
like, I
it's
get
just
it.
that
There's
he
obviously
gets in. He can score 4 or 5 goals a game. That's what it is because he gets into those positions. But
100%.
yeah, I think I'd give him an 8 out of 10. Can't really blame him for anything. He did his job. So yes, 8 out.
That's it, bro. Like even the deflection that obviously some people will say that it's a deflection if it didn't take the touch, Lloris would have saved it, which I agree with. But again, at the end of the day, he caused chaos, right? He took that
Hundred
shot, he
percent.
took it real quick, and defender took stepped in, thought they had to step up. It ate a deflection. It's a goal for him, right? It counted
Yeah,
for him at the end of the day.
yeah.
And then moving on to someone that I've made fun of consistently for the whole season, and today I have to eat my humble pie. Defensive striker bagging the winner, Bobby Firmino. How do
So
we do?
So with Firmino, I was very critical of him in the Fulham game because I actually appreciate what he does. Like the work he does off the ball, he gets Mane and Salah into the game almost every time. But I felt that in games against Fulham, against these teams, he needs to take his chances. He needs to be more clinical, right? Because you can't always expect those two to thing. And I did criticize him for that, but. Bro, today he did his job and he took his team top of the table. That goal.
You know what was funny is that he had a couple of chances earlier in the game that were pretty, lukewarm, standard Firmino chances.
Yeah.
Right at the goalie, nothing threatening. And on the group chat, I was talking smack about him, and
Yeah.
and then next thing he put. I mean, he got a little bit lucky, sure, if you want to look at it that way. That Alderweireld slipped, but he had a job to do, and he converted it, and he converted, bro. High pressure, high stakes. 91st minute winner.
Yeah.
Um, what did you give him, man? What did you give him as a score?
Bro, so this is not like judging only his performance. I think it takes into consideration Liverpool's team, the injuries, and the situation in the top of the table right now. I give him a 10 out of 10. And the
That's
reason
honestly,
it was tough for me, I was thinking about it, but if you look at the situation at the top of the table, they're tied on points. If he doesn't score that goal, they're second. And it's going into the Christmas period. They have injuries. Like they don't have Van Dijk. It's going to cause a problem. He's got them into an
it
advantage
was the
going.
importance of the goal. It was
Yeah,
the
it was the
importance, the
importance of the
timing of
goal.
the goal.
Yeah, yes, it was last minute. You can say that he missed chances and everything like that, but that goal changes the complexion of the whole table. So, and it gives Liverpool that confidence going into the new year, man. And now they have that belief that they can do it. If they can beat a team who was title challengers, who were on top of the table for most of the year so far, I mean, most of this season,
Mhm.
I think will give them a lot of confidence, and it can make this Liverpool team believe again that yes, we're gonna win it again.
You know why I think that the 10 rating is fair? I was initially going to give him a 9, but I think the 10 is fair because Jota just went down. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks,
Exactly.
and Bobby stepping up to score that goal. Like I've said this from the beginning, man. He doesn't need to score a lot. He just needs to score a little bit more than he does right now
Yeah.
to take the pressure off Mane and Salah and just add a little bit of versatility to this Liverpool attack, which is what Jota was doing. I'm glad that as much as I make fun of him, I'm glad that he scored today. And it was a great header at the end of the day.
Yeah, it
Nothing
was
that
good. Yeah, it was
nothing
a
that
great header, clinical, and yeah, that's it, man. It's just the situation, and he's taken them to the top.
So that being said, some interesting scores over here. Some high praise for Liverpool. What do we do for the man with the fake teeth, Klopp?
No, but you're talking about Mane or
No, I'm
Club?
talking. Oh, did I not?
Oh
Did I
yeah,
not
yeah,
do
yeah,
Mane?
yeah. We have to do Mane.
My bad. My bad.
You
Yeah.
you said
So
Club, yeah, my bad, but
yeah,
yeah, Mane, yeah.
yeah. I didn't realize I had a back page. Yeah. So moving on to the last member of the Liverpool front three, looking
Good.
at Mane, twisting and turning. How did he do for you today?
I think he was a threat, but to his high standards, he didn't match that to me. Like I think he should have been more clinical. He had chances, he hit them over the bar, but he still he was causing problems for that defense. But because he wasn't clinical, I'll probably take out a point. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Maybe a bit critical, but I just feel that Mane has such high standards and he's getting into those positions, and I just expect him to
For
do better.
sure.
Maybe if he didn't score, it's okay, but maybe to do at least better than what he did.
I
Like
think what he had one that came off the crossbar.
yeah, he did.
That was
That
a
was
crazy.
yeah, that was unlucky. But then there was a few others as well, like which I
Yeah,
felt
I,
that he
I I
could.
think I think that like he did skin Aurier a few times, but
He did 100%.
for the most part, Aurier and Dyer managed that threat well. Just like on the other flank, Alderweireld and Davies managed the threat of
Yeah,
Trent and Salah well. On this side, Robertson and and Mane were pretty well managed, all things considered. Like they were letting them play their game, but Tottenham never really looked like, oh, like we're in a lot of danger over here.
Yeah, but see, you know how we're criticizing Bergwijn? If Bergwijn scored that, we'd be criticizing Mane the same way because he missed chances, right? So that's
For
what it is.
sure,
So
for sure.
I'm not
So
docking too many points off.
you got to keep that same energy.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at it that way. I still feel that he had a good game, and like, don't get me wrong, he's a class player. But just like from his high standards, I'm knocking off 1 point. That's why I'm giving him a 7.
That's fair, dude. And then moving on to the man finally with the fake teeth. What do you think for Klopp, bro? Did he get it right today? Do you think he got a little bit lucky to walk away with the win? How did you rate his tactics? He didn't make any subs, so obviously he had a lot of faith in this team. What did you think about the way he set up today?
Yeah, definitely, there was luck because with the post, especially. But I think Klopp set up brilliantly, and he has the system, bro, and he believes in it. But he's still willing to adjust, like we saw in the second half. After Tottenham scored, they still, they didn't go all out for the attack. They still defended and they sat back a bit as well. So I felt that, he's doing a great job, man, considering the fact there's no Van Dijk as well. I keep mentioning that. So I'd probably give him 9 out of 10, man. Like considering all the injuries, no Jota as well, and he is getting those results, bro. And today I don't think he did anything wrong. He got the tactics spot on. Maybe they're a bit too over attacking after they scored the first goal, but then he calmed that down in the second half, and he calmed them, and they defended well as well.
I mean, honestly, bro, this game was a coin flip. Like it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
The ratings would have been, had Tottenham won, your ratings would have been mine for Tottenham.
Result influences everything, bro.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So I mean, fair enough. I think that wraps up Liverpool over here. We didn't do any subs. There were no subs for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So that part's done.
We got the player ratings done, bro. But yeah, your final thoughts on the game?
I thought this was a cracker of a game, man. Especially after a couple of damp games. The City United game was pretty trash.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other games, bro, that were supposed to live up to the hype. There were a lot, like the Chelsea Wolves game wasn't all that much either. A couple of games that were just whatever. City West Brom. So this was honestly really nice to see. There was fire in this game, chances. I was watching it, it was end-to-end stuff. I didn't look away once. Yeah. I was constantly just, I was like, because every run forward was like, if Liverpool's getting forward, there's a chance that they might create something, and if Tottenham hits them on the counter, there's a chance that they might create something. So there was both teams, they knew what their strengths were, they knew what their weaknesses were, and you could just see it constantly in motion. I thought this was a great game to watch.
Yeah, and just finally, you think, right now Liverpool are in pole position, doing a really good job. Yes, they do have injuries, but they've shown that they can still do it without that. They might be tested further on, but your thoughts on Tottenham? Do you think will this game take a lot out of them, or will they still, believe in themselves and still challenge for the title?
I think this is going to give them, more fire, bro. I think that they saw that their game plan worked. And this was just a day where it didn't come off, where the finishes weren't there, where the goals weren't there. But in terms of how Mourinho had set them up, it worked. And you saw it, and it was just such a finely balanced game. So I think it's just going to lead them to kind of like double down on defensive things, not to concede that 90th minute winner, which is probably what's going to annoy Jose the most.
They'll consider a late goal against Palace as well, so they just need they shouldn't make a habit out of that.
Exactly, they need to tighten up the ship on that part. Yeah. But I think it's just going to give them. I think Mourinho prefers to be second, bro, because it gives him that underdog mentality. Where, we're not the leaders, we're not the favorites, we're the underdogs, and I think he thrives in that sort of environment because he makes the team feel that it's us against everyone else, and it's a great way to motivate your players, bro, when you create that sort of mentality. And I think it definitely, he would have liked to go into it with walk out of this game with a win, but I think he can make the most out of where he is right now. And I think he'll definitely play some mind games with his team and with the other managers.
For sure. I think especially if he can keep his squad fit, I think he does have a really good chance. But yeah, I think that wraps up the player ratings, man. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun. Continue enjoying the games, man. They're coming thick and fast, and take care, bro.
All right, man. See you next time.